Hello. Welcome to Chicago Reacts. I am Kelsey, and today I will be reacting to, I'm going to start that over, because yep. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Kelsey. I am a voice actor living in Chicago, and today I will be reacting to Kerbal Scuffed Program 1, Sacrifice for the Sake of Science by Martincitopants. Thank you, Martincito, and your pants for making this video. Cool. The only Kerbal anything game I'm really familiar with is Kerbal Space Program, which I don't know which one that is. Clearly, I'm unfamiliar, as I said. So, we're going to see. I assume they're all vaguely space related, so I'm excited. And yeah, I feel like any Kerbal game will come with some sacrifice for the sake of science. Oh, and this video was suggested by Anti-Creed. So no Scott Stapp in here. Your arms are not wide open, but your suggestions are. So we thank you for that. Oh, we're getting cinematic. Hello buddy.
Again. Jeb here. Today, we'll be playing the greatest space disaster simulator to ever hit virtual store shelves. A game dedicated to constructing your own grand scientific endeavors, like how many Kerbals makes up an adequate crush space for this lander. A game that requires full activation of your frontal lobe. A game where ethics, morality, and the safety of your subjects take a backseat to science, exploration, and getting that bread. And a game where the inevitable catastrophic failure is often better than the mission itself. You may think that NASA has had some pretty terrible disasters over the years, but they have nothing on the Bean space program's preliminary rocket testing. This little guy made some poor decisions with the last remaining fuel, and has just been sitting here on his space chair, all alone, orbiting the sun. And
I love
he's been
that.
here for the last 78 years. Poor lad.
Oh.
You might be wondering where I am right now. Well, I'm not on Kerbal. I'm also not on the moon. I'm not on Duna or
Pluto.
Eden, not Drez, Bop, or Pol. Not even Tylo. Dickhead. I'm on a planet very, very far away. A planet orbiting an entirely different star to our own. An exoplanet. Proxima Centauri b.
Oh.
Hold on a minute.
I know that star.
You might also be wondering how I got here. Well,
Look at him
it's
run.
quite a long story.
I love that run cycle. Whoa.
We've got rockets, massive catastrophic explosions, intense nuclear radiation, antimatter containment, orb, touchy.
There goes. Amazing. Cool, yep.
And encounters with KSP's Deep Space Kraken. So buckle up, fuckos, because today we're going to the stars.
Hard mode,
But
no.
before we begin, some rules. As you
Ground
probably
rules.
know, KSP only has this star, and no real means of getting to any others, which means we'll need to add some mods. I'd like to demonstrate to both my PC and myself the concept of no pain, no gain. So today we're jamming as many mods as physically possible into the game.
Oh,
How
no.
many, you may be asking? Well, this many. Lots if you're a new player, but really not that many if you're a true blue KSP gamer. As a side note, I tried desperately to get realism overhaul and real solar system to work properly with some form of progression to the warp drive, which is the only propulsion system that is actually fun to use for going interstellar distances. This would have made for an interesting challenge, as Earth is about 10 times larger than Kerbal, and much, much harder to orbit. What actually happened was I ended up with a horrible, unplayable, covered mess.
Oh no.
Annoyingly, the way you're meant to play these mods is with RP1, a modified tech tree and contract system. However, this did not include a path to warp drive technology, so instead I used the community tech tree and hoped it would work. It didn't. I streamed this horrible, several-hour-long suffering marathon, which ended in me restarting a save once after effectively being soft-locked from the game, and a second time after being cucked by several engine failures on my first try at an orbital flight.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
God, no.
Oh, rip. Oh, there it goes.
Kidding me?
Oh, but a nice
I remember landing like this shit.
soft
This is just a
landing?
parachute. It's not an actual parachute. Oh my god.
Maybe?
Oh, no.
No. Nope. Not even a nice landing.
Alright. I'm sure getting warp drive to work in this mode while keeping the game playable is possible, but I clearly lack this KSP knowledge. So no Earth.
It seems
to Kerbal.
complicated.
The mods that I actually have added
Me.
add all sorts of cool and good stuff. New parts, new features, new planets,
That's a
tweaked
feature.
science, and for actually getting to the other stars, we have
Not
acquired
that
the
thing
warp drive.
squiggling through
This
the
way we'll
sky
get
like
there
a
within a few
worm.
weeks instead of 800 years. Also, warp drives are cool. Okay, let us begin.
Let's do it.
So, it looks like we have a long road
I
ahead
like
of
that
us.
it was an overlay
Our
of
fledgling
bats
space
too instead
program
of
starts with
birds.
a couple of bucks, some brave Kerbonauts, and several ex-war criminal rocket scientists. Our first rocket only has access to very basic parts. To access better parts, we must perform research and collect
There he
valuable
goes.
data. In case you forgot, we have an
Oh,
exceedingly
no.
large pile of mods, meaning the tech tree now expands very nice and far. This
Yeah,
is good
wow.
because it gives us much more time for things to go terribly wrong. The warp drive itself is all the way at the end for a cool 28,000 science points. Our first technologies cost 5. Anyway, enough babbling. On to constructing. Our first rocket has one goal. To tackle
Gotta-
this great
gotta go up.
challenge, the Bean space program has created the most powerful nugget to ever be launched. Its name, Obama Prism.
Why is it Obama Prism? No!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
She's going. She's going. All is well so far. Yeah. Cool. Doing it. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, hey. Did it.
Very good.
Did
Great
it.
success. But how? Alright class, listen up. Today, we're talking about solid rocket boosters.
Cool. Like that
Our
one.
great and powerful vehicle, Obama Prism, uses a weird little solid rocket booster to propel itself upwards. But what is a solid rocket booster?
What is it?
A solid rocket booster is a booster that uses a solid fuel. I know. I wouldn't have figured that one out either. The solid fuel is made up of an oxidizing agent and a fuel. Think of it like a high-powered explosive that explodes gently. When it's lit, the rocket burns this fuel and creates a very hot gas. Now, Kevin,
Scientific
please
term.
remind the class about Newton's third law. Every action... Okay, Kevin, I'm gonna need you to be quiet. I did not ask. Anyway, Newton at one point was like, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Basically, push on something, and the thing pushes back. This principle is how literally everything moves. Your car pushes the ground, which pushes back on the car. An airplane pushes the air pushes the plane. Simple. So, when the hot gas shoots out one end, what happens to the rocket? It goes forward. Shut up, Kevin! It goes forward in the opposite direction of the gas.
Poor Kevin.
Thus creating thrust. So, when we smash that spacebar, the rocket goes up. Incredible.
Cool.
Class
Science.
dismissed.
There's Obama once again. Why is he here?
So, we've done our first launch, got our first bit of science, and completed our first contract. Very good. Next step is to leave the atmosphere of Kerbal and hopefully make it back in one piece. To do this, we'll need to create the most powerful rocket ever built. Obama Prism 2. It's a very complex
Amazing.
and intricately engineered rocket. We get Obama Prism 1, then attach 4
And
more
then-
boosters to it.
Oh,
Engineered. The boosters have no decouplers between them, so to get them to separate, we'll use the next booster to explode the spent booster.
The monkey?
You'll see what I mean.
What is he?
Let's launch. On our second great journey, we are once again launching our best and bravest pilot,
Doing it.
Jeb. He's been around since the very beginning, along with Bill and Bob. A true staple
The one
of the KSP
screaming in
universe.
terror.
Jeb is the first Kerbonaut any aspiring program manager launches. He's also the bravest the entire program has to offer, smiling in the
him.
face of even the greatest catastrophe, and he's dead.
Jebediah, we hardly knew ye. Ah. Oh, look at him. So smiley, so excited. He loves his job. Don't show a picture of him naked. That's important.
To those who have played this game before, you may just say, oh well, revert the flight and do it again. How? That's right, the game is set to hard, which means no reverting to mission assembly, no quick saving, and no crew respawning.
Oh no.
So Jeb is actually dead.
Oh no. He's actually
But
dead
why
forever.
is Jeb dead? Okay class, sit down and buckle your fuckles. In this lesson, we're doing aerodynamic stability, and what even is space anyway?
What is
So
it?
what actually happened? Well, if we rewind the video, you'll notice a minute and difficult to catch detail that led to Jeb's death. If you look really close, you can see he smashes into the water at several times the speed of sound. Interesting. But why? Passive aerodynamic stability. I want you to imagine a dart flying through the air. The dart can only point in one direction, forward. If you try throwing a dart backwards, it'll just go and point forwards again. This is because a dart has wings at the back and its mass at the front. The dart is passively stable when flying forwards and unstable when flying backwards. Similar situation with the late Obama Prism
Screams.
2. The mass is concentrated towards the front of the vessel where the capsule is, and the little wings act to keep it stable in the forward direction. Unlucky for us, this direction also happens to make the capsule very aerodynamic, i.e. it doesn't slow down. As we re-entered the atmosphere, the little reaction wheels in the capsule kept it pointing backwards, but once the air got thicker, it pushed on the wings and forced the ship into a nosedive. Once in this position, the craft acts very much like a dart
Poor
and doesn't
Jed.
slow down enough
He
to
didn't
open
even
the
have a
parachute,
chance.
ending with Jeb smacking straight into the water at twice the speed of sound. Rest in peace, Jeb.
Oh,
Before
Jeb.
met with the ocean at Mach 2,
Sorry,
he managed
Jeb.
to fly
Didn't mean to
completely out of the
disrespect him.
atmosphere, topping out at over 100 kilometers. In KSP, the atmosphere ends at exactly 70 kilometers. You can easily tell when you're there, because the music goes like... On Earth, it's a little less clear-cut, because there are technically air molecules all the way up past 400 kilometers, but the generally agreed upon altitude
just
that
peters
space
out.
begins is 100 kilometers.
Oh, that
known as
spinny
the
guy.
Kalman line. So why is this important? Well, we'd like to get to orbit eventually, which means we'll need to be traveling really fast in one direction. Air doesn't like it when you go through it really fast, so we avoid the air altogether by going up nice and high. Air doesn't reach higher up because Kerbin's gravity pulls it all down to the surface. Also, Kevin, please just be quiet next time. The class is trying to learn. I didn't say anything, Bert. Shut up! Just...
Poor Kevin. Poor
Class dismissed.
Kevin. All right, let's go.
Second launch down. Less successful than the first, but we still made money. Jeb may be dead, but we got that bread. Next up, we're actually going to invest our
So it's
research
all
into better
worth
parts
it?
to avoid our previous mistakes. Our next rocket is even more powerful than Obama Prism 2. Obama Prism
3.
3.
There it is.
I'll just cut to the chase. Obama Prism 3 didn't make it. To
No.
orbit, that is. Don't worry, Valentina is still alive.
Yay,
For now.
Valentina.
We didn't have enough fuel to reach orbit, so we
I
turned
know.
around, ditched the tank, and splashed down in the water.
4
Without exploding.
FPS. Yeah,
Very
but
good.
no
We
that's a
didn't
good
die.
trade-off.
But we also didn't make it to orbit. Why?
Back to class.
Okay, class, keep those fuckles buckled. Today, we're learning basic orbital mechanics.
More Kevin verbal
Amongst
abuse.
First off, why do we shoot parts off the rocket? Why not instead just make a long noodly rocket that has all the fuel in a single tank? I'll tell you why. Mass. When these tanks are empty, they still contribute mass to the vessel. Hey, psst, hey, cat. What equation is Newton most famous for? That's right, force equals mass times acceleration. Oh yeah. If we do some high-level algebra, we can rearrange this and get acceleration is force divided by mass. When the mass is lower, the acceleration is higher. Thus, eliminating excess mass makes you go faster. Very nice.
Very
After
cool.
ditching our first 3 solid rocket booster stages, we get this
I
special
love
engine on our
physics.
last stage. This is a liquid-fueled engine. Instead of burning a solid propellant, it mixes fuel and oxidizer inside the engine to create the hot gas. Liquid engines are much more efficient than solid boosters and can be throttled and even turned off. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, solid boosters can't be turned off. Once you start them,
Huh.
they go.
They go and
go.
go and go. And then
And
that
go.
happens sometimes.
Liquid-fueled engines are pretty cool, but they come with a price. Literally. Just the engine, without the fuel on this rocket, costs as much as all 3 of the solid rocket
Ooh.
boosters combined. So solid boosters make economical sense for sections that don't need the greatest efficiency. Now, of course, the elephant in the room. No, not that elephant. He's purely ornamental. Our failure to reach orbit. Gravity. Gravity pulls at all objects with mass. Our spacecraft has mass, thus it is
I
subject
need
to
to
gravity.
know what that screams from.
Wow.
I've definitely
Gravity
heard it
pulls
before,
with
but
a
I
force
don't know what it's
depending
from.
on how far
It's
away
so
from the body you
funny.
are. If the mass and distance are kept constant, the force is also kept constant. Meaning, if you can generate enough force in the opposite direction, you can fly.
Okay.
Now, of course, there are many, many ways to... Dude, really? You're just gonna fucking stand there? Get out of here. As I was saying, there are many, many ways to generate force. Wings, brakes, engines, parachutes, magnets, electric fields, mass, just straight up pushing on shit.
Just
You get the idea.
that.
But today we want to look at centripetal and centrifugal forces. Both of these forces exist when something is rotating. Well, technically centrifugal force doesn't actually exist, but I'll leave that as an exercise for you to explain. Answer in the comments. Do it now. The common example is a ball on the
Okay.
end of a string. Centripetal force is the force that the string exerts on the ball, while centrifugal force is the force that the ball experiences in the opposite direction. Now, how does this relate to Obama Prism 3?
How
Well,
does
as you
it
probably have
relate?
experienced, the faster you spin a ball in a string, the harder it pulls away from you. This means that our imaginary centrifugal force is increasing. Once it goes past the force generated by gravity, we achieve orbit. But we didn't do that, so on to...
Ding, 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 ding.
For this mission,
Dinner's
we're
ready.
going with a complete redesign. We've ditched the Obama Prism nomenclature. We've ditched
Yeah.
Obama Prism and moved on to...
That was the right
Casting
word?
couch.
No.
It's got thicker thighs and more rocket juice for the liquid stage. Hopefully this time, we'll reach orbit. Let's launch.
Let's do it. Groovy little music. All right, come on. Let's go. It's doing it so far. This guy loves suspense.
And would you look at that? An actual orbit.
Woo!
We've done it, lads. We'll be at Proxima Centauri in no time.
Nice,
but we're just about out of
nice.
fuel, so we'll deorbit.
There it goes.
Wow, would you look at that? It's hot. Very hot.
Yeah.
So hot that
Sure
it's
is.
learning time.
It's time.
Friction. Friction is all around us. Have you ever walked? Friction.
Hello?
Moved in a car and then stopped moving in a car? Friction.
Oh.
Rub 2 metal plates together so hard they form a robust friction weld?
Yeah, I've done that.
Friction. That last one is important. It demonstrates how friction generates lots of heat. So tell me, Kevin, why is there a giant plasma flare around casting couch? Friction?
Kevin, you should know not to answer anymore. It's a trick question, always.
Yes. In case you didn't
Or
realize,
not.
our craft is moving
I was
really,
the one who
really
was
fast.
tricked.
Over 2,000 meters per second, in fact, which translates to roughly 32,927 Big Macs stacked vertically every single second.
It's a lot.
Pretty quick. As you can imagine, this means we have lots of kinetic energy. If you've ever ridden a bike with disc brakes, you'd know that using the brakes converts your speed into heat within the brakes. Ah, fuck! Exact same principle here, just with much more speed. The amount of kinetic energy something has is related to the square of the velocity. This sounds kind of complicated, but it just means that when you double your speed, you quadruple your energy. So casting couch has a huge amount of energy. Hence, when it slows down, giant plasma flare. Nice.
Right.
No. Launch 5 is boring.
Oh, okay. Cool.
In Launch 5, we did a quick shoot past the moon. We
Oh,
had some
cool.
decent science,
Hello.
but it was boring. Now we're on Launch 6. The goal of Launch 6 is simple. Land on the moon and come back. For
Cool.
this job, we have yet again created the most powerful rocket ever built. Obama Prism 4. This rocket uses
Going
two
back.
SRBs mounted to a large inner
Going
stage.
back to a classic.
The upper stage has a special liquid engine and a lot of fuel for it to drink. Let's launch.
Come on, let's go. Doing great so far. And
Orbit achieved, but we keep going.
yeah, gotta get to that moon. Little slingshot effect. Look at that moon. Getting to the moon. Moon ride, moon ride. Did it!
Ladies and gentlemen. We've done it.
Look at that little guy. Yeah!
Valentina hops out the pod and plants our first extraterrestrial flag.
Yay!
What do we say in this great and profound moment? Do we honor the engineers and scientists that brought us here? Do we honor the late Obama Prism 2 and Jeb? Do we thank our pet goldfish for giving us the strength to continue when we
You
needed
could.
it most? No. Instead, we carefully inscribe the plaque with pee-pee, poo-poo,
Pee pee poo poo.
come.
A classic.
Astounding.
Pretty neat. All right, pack it up, or do a little dance, or do that. Fly away. Neat. Glad Valentina's having a grand time on the moon alone.
Okay, I'm bored. Let's go home.
Cool. But is she gonna make it back home? I hope. Come on, Valentina. That's my favorite hot sauce. Valentina. Come on, baby. The frame rate. And she's safe. She's sound. She's in the ocean. She's home.
And there we have it. We went to the moon and didn't die.
Oh, I thought you said and then died, but
No, that's enough. I would do the next lesson, but it looks like we're out of time. And more importantly, I'm getting a little sick of it. So it looks like we'll have to wait for next episode. That's right, there will be another episode. But you might need to wait. In the meantime, subscribe to my channel. Now, all of the career
Okay.
gameplay in this video is taken from YouTube live streams I've been doing. This video
Oh,
only
cool.
covered what happened in my first stream. As of recording, I've actually done 4. But to be perfectly honest, they're basically the same as the first one. If you desperately need to watch them, they can all be found in the KSP streams section on the Discord. The next
Sick.
streams I do will involve other planets and going to them, so stay posted for that. I'll also be doing KSP weapons development streams, where you can send in your crafts and I'll have them fight each other. If this sounds interesting to you, join the Discord. I'll make a KSP craft channel that you can stick them in. Just remember to read the craft submission guidelines before submitting it. Please.
Well, cool. Very cool to see the beginning of the journey to Proxima Centauri b. That's really neat. And I have tried to play Kerbal Space Program. I'm realizing now that the title, I'm like, that doesn't sound like a real game. The title is indeed a play on words, a play on title. I've only tried to play Kerbal Space Program like once, and I did not expect it to be as involved as it can be. So that, with all the mods, bravo. You got Valentina to the moon and back. And that's pretty cool for a bottle of hot sauce to do. It's a great accomplishment. Usually my bottles of Valentina just go to my fridge and onto my food and back. But yeah, that was really cool. That was really fun. The strategy of it all, the memes, beautiful. Thank you, Auntie Creed, for suggesting that. And all of you, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this, and we will see you next time.